Hazel, sponsored by Tide and Spick and Span. Flashback, sponsored by Ford of Canada Limited. The Ed Sullivan Show, sponsored by Gattuso and the Singer Sewing Machine Company. And the program Close-Up will not be seen tonight. And now stay tuned for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
From Detroit, the third game of the Stanley Cup Final at the Detroit Olympia between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings. Brought to you by Imperial Oil Limited and Esso dealers, agents, and distributors from coast to coast.
Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States. We're here at the Detroit Olympia, and we're just set to start the first period of this third game of the Stanley Cup Final between the Detroit Red Wings, wearing their bright red uniforms and showing up dark on the screen, and to my right, Toronto Maple Leafs wearing white tonight, and to the left. And Fulford is out there with Nevin and Shack. Elman with Floyd Smith and Vic Stasiak, and the puck is cleared into the Leaf zone, and Bauer gets a hold of it, but it was offside at the blue line. The referee, Frank Edberry, striped jersey number 2. The linesmen are Neil Armstrong, number 8, and George Hayes, number 9. On the face-off, it's back into the Leaf zone where Horton tapped it with his glove. A flip pass for Fulford, knocked right back. Now then Stanley. A pass for Shack, goes down over the red line. Vic Stasiak in there to touch it. He does, and it's called for icing and a face-off back in the Leaf zone. The ice surface here at the Detroit Olympia tonight looks very fast. And the fans are still coming in. Appears to be a cellar. Alman, Stasiak, and Smith, Barkley, and Pronovo on the defense inside the blue line. The two players' benches are on the far side. Fulford cleared it into the corner. It comes out in front. Smith took a shot. Alman went after the rebound. Vic Stasiak takes the shot. He scores! Detroit lead 1-0. Stasiak shooting it right between Johnny Bauer's legs. And Detroit score. Seconds. So Detroit pay back the compliment to the Maple Leafs here, opened in the first game in 49 seconds. It just took Stasiak 33 seconds to score. And Detroit are ahead 1-0. They're going to have to scrape off the ice, and this was a common occurrence in the Olympia here in Detroit. And perhaps will happen many more times before they're through. Somebody has thrown an egg out on the ice. And there's also some paper. Smith and Ullman got the assist on Vic Stasiak's goal. Floyd Smith, Normie Ullman assisting at just 33 seconds of this first period. And Detroit go ahead 1-0. This is the third game of the Stanley Cup Finals. Leafs leading in the series 2-0. And the Leafs are wearing white. Red Wings in their red uniforms. Defending the area to my right. Leafs to the left. The players' bench is on the far side. The Leaf bench is practically in front of me on the far side, and the Red Wing bench to the right. And quite a few of the Detroit fans coming in tonight will have missed that one. Still quite a few empty seats around in the Olympia. The fans to please refrain from throwing things on the ice. Not only could injure the players, but also delays the progress of the game. Already, after just 33 seconds of play, they have played, as far as the regular clock is concerned, over 6 minutes. Now they have it all cleaned up, and we'll be back for a face-off now at center ice. Referee Frank Edberry calls the teams back at center. And Detroit lead by a score of 1-0. Now Ullman staying out there with Stasiak and Floyd Smith. Doug Barkley moves up. Takes a shot, goes to the corner, hit the back of the net. Dave Keon kicks it loose, then comes up with it. Dave Keon up the center with Duff. He was checked by Ullman from behind. Keon again with it. Passing it over on the wing. Armstrong knocks it into the corner, and Marcel Pronovost goes after it. Jammed there by Keon, and kicks it loose to Brewer. Brewer let a shot go in front. Here's Armstrong, and he fanned on his drive, and Sarchuk comes up with it. Face off in the Detroit zone to the left. On Terry Sarchuk, Detroit lead 1-0. We're at the 1:07 mark of the first period. Armstrong had to roll through his skates. It goes back from Bond to Brewer. Brewer pokes it over the line. Doug Barkley cleared it out to center. Armstrong had it momentarily. Gets it again for Keon. Keon watched by Doug Barkley. Floyd Smith flips it out over the blue line to center ice, and Carol Brewer shot it right back to Duff again. Dick Duff. He's checked by Floyd Smith. Duff gets it again. A flip pass for Keon. One man back. He goes into the corner. Jammed in on the boards by Doug Barkley. Keon gets it loose. Kicked it out in front of the defense. It goes over to the wing. Brewer moves up. Jack went into the boards. Armstrong at center. Takes a long shot. That's wide. Keon tried to keep it in. Rolled by Duff. Doug Barkley clears it in. Came out in front of the Leafs goal, and Bob Barnes back for it. Missed the check from Stasiak. Armstrong over to Duff. Duff over the line, took a shot and hit Doug Barkley. Gordie Howe with it. Pass for Stasiak at center. And it's offside as Gordie Howe went over the line. Then Stasiak ran into Kelly. Face-off will be outside the Maple Leaf blue line. We're at the 2:18 mark of this first period. 1-0 Detroit. Stasiak from Smith and Ullman at 33 seconds. Now then, Alex Falker is coming out with McGregor and Andre Pronovost. Geiger and Gadsby on the defense. Howie Young is not dressed tonight. Lou Marcon has been dressed in his place. Horton. Checked by Faulkner. The puck goes back to Bill Gadsby, and he's failing his shot. It's right in front of the net. And it's cleared out to the wing. It's still in there. Horton ran into Alex Faulkner. Bruce McGregor gets the puck loose. Trying to center it. He gives it to Alex Faulkner. Back to Goigan. Here comes the shot. That hit a leg. Now then Bob Nevin up with Shack. To center. He puts it over the line. Stopped by Sawchuk even though it was off the target. Andre Pronovo. Coming up the center. A long pass for Alex Faulkner. Too far. Johnny Bauer shot it off the side. Hit Faulkner. Straight into the corner. Clearing pass by Shack went to center. Played back over the Leaf line as the Red Wings keep pressing in the Leaf zone. Eddie Shack went in front of his own net. A pass for Fulford went behind him, but goes into the Detroit zone, and Bill Gadsby cleared it to Pete Goigan. His pass goes right to Stanley. Stanley, a pass over on the wing. Gadsby was knocked down by Shack. Played off the board. Shack takes a long shot. That's wide. Eddie Joyelle, number 21. A pass out on the wing for Andre Pronovo, stopped by Horton. Gives it to Fulford. Fulford lost it to Joyelle. Right in on goal. And Bauer just got a piece of it. Back for Fulford at center. Up over the Detroit line. Going right in on goal. He took a shot. Here's Nevin after the rebound. Trying to pass it out in front of the net, and it goes over to the wing, and it's shot to center right. Brewer flicks it into the crowd. We're at the 4:17 mark of the first period. 1-0 Detroit. Eddie Joyelle had a great chance in the zone after Fulford handed the puck to him. One nothing Detroit. Alex Delvecchio, Packer McDonald, and Gordie Howe out there. Kelly with Stewart and Litzenberger. Brewer. Flip pass into the Detroit zone. It bounces Sawchuk. He grabs a hold of it, gives it to Marcel Pronovo. Pronovo trying to get away from Litzenberger. Clears it to Delvecchio. Delvecchio's shot knocked down by Brewer. Brewer flips it down the ice and Stewart races after it. And Doug Barkley got in there quickly to cover up to Marcel Pronovo. Marcel Pronovo trying to bring it out. Gets it up to Packer McDonald at center ice. Long shot. Brewer bats it with his glove. Gordie Howe checked by Kelly. Kelly a pass to Stewart. Stewart trying to cut in. Marcel Pronovo was first in after it. And Packer McDonald, the clearing pass goes out over the line, and Kelly has it. Kelly turning at center. Pass for Litzenberger. Wrapped it over the line. Detroit bring it back. Delvecchio at center ice. With Gordie Howe over the line. Delvecchio waits. Takes his shot. Bauer caught that. Brewer was checked. Packer McDonald back to Marcel Pronovo. His shot. Brewer knocked that down. Races after it. Knocked down by Howe, but Litzenberger carries on. Doug Barkley then was checked. Kelly gets right in, takes his shot. Sawchuk stopped that. Bearing pass to Gordie Howe. He's checked by Kelly. Marcel Pronovo now brings it with a pass to Alex Delvecchio, who goes to center ice. A long shot. That bounces, and Bauer tapped it on the first bounce. Brewer just flips it out to center ice. Keon Armstrong and Duff come over the board. Here's a chance for Packer McDonald, and Bauer stopped that on his glove. Stewart stayed out, so Armstrong couldn't come over. Down the ice goes Duff with Keon. Over the line. And it's outside at the blue line. And this game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
What a value. A Kodak 8 movie camera, $19.99. Esso dealers have it. Don't miss out. Order yours now.
The puck is at center ice. Pete Goigan, number 18, took a long shot. Bauer's out of his net. Played it for Duff. Duff was checked. Stanley nearly flipped it in his own net. And Horton has it. To Duff, who flipped it out to center ice. Bill Gadsby a pass for Ullman and Stasiak. Horton rammed into him. Stanley, a pass for Duff on the left wing. Duff up at center, over the line with Keon. They're closing in. Duff takes his shot, and Stasiak stopped that. Armstrong back for Horton. Horton's shot is deflected over the glass into the crowd off Normie Hellman's skate. It's like 7 minutes and 2 seconds of the first period. 1-0 Detroit. Rick Stasiak from Smith and Ullman at 33 seconds. Ullman, Larry Jeffrey, and Floyd Smith now on the forward line as Stanley shot it in behind the Detroit net. Pete Goigan has it. A pass to Larry Jeffrey, shot back to Goigan. Goigan goes in behind the net to the other side. Gadsby stopped by Duff. Gadsby gets it again, number 4. And he skates behind the Detroit goal and stops there. Keon being watched by Goigan. Gadsby shot it off the board, out over the line. Horton was checked. Larry Jeffrey coming in on the left wing. Armstrong gets back, couldn't check him. Horton went right in front of his own goal, then cut off to the side. Horton, long pass for Duff at center. Duff shot it into the Detroit zone. It ends up behind the net into the corner. Larry Jeffrey flipping it there. Armstrong back to Duff. Duff passed it instead of shooting, and Larry Jeffrey brings it out. Down the left wing comes Jeffrey. Over the line, and Horton ran into him. Stanley to Armstrong. Stopped by Floyd Smith, who in turn was checked by Keon. It goes in over the line. Horton has it. Delayed whistle as Horton brings it up the center. His long shot. Bounces high and wide. Bruce McGregor back for it. He passed it over to Ullman. Ullman is checked by Nevin. Fulford went back to center ice with it. He lifts a high one. It goes into the corner. Doug Barkley trying to bring it out. Shot it over on the wing, and it goes out to center ice, and Brewer has it. Back to Bob Bond. Bond fell into the boards. He was hit by Jeffrey, and the puck goes into the Detroit zone. Nevin moves up into the corner. Marcel Pronovo covered him. Fulford, after Marcel Pronovo, is behind the net. Jack ran into the Detroit player, Marcel Pronovo. It comes loose to Bruce McGregor. Bruce McGregor, number 16, up with Alex Faulkner. He's stopped by Bob Bond, who comes back with a pass over the line. He was hit by Doug Barkley. It's still in the Detroit zone, over to Marcel Pronovo on this left wing. Gets away from Nevin. Clearing past Andre Pronovo. Up with Alex Faulkner. He was knocked flat by Bob Bond. There's Fulford getting a break. He tried to go over the line. Doug Barkley was knocked down. Up for Alex Faulkner. He's hit. Brewer hooks it to Eddie Shack and Nevin. Play is called, and there'll be a penalty there. Bob Fulford. Bob Fulford gets the gate. Nothing to score in favor of Detroit. Nine minutes and 34 seconds of this first period. Fulford for hooking. That brings out number 21, Eddie Joyelle, Packer McDonald, Gordie Howe, Bellefontaine, and Alex Del Vecchio. Dion Armstrong, Stanley, and Horton for the Leafs. Del Vecchio gets into the Leaf zone, passing it back for Howe. His shot was wide. George Armstrong just shoots it down the ice. Coming up to the 10-minute mark of this first period in 3 seconds. Alex Del Vecchio. Pass to Gordie Howe. Back to Joyelle off the skate. Keon puts it back into the Detroit zone. Del Vecchio going back for it. Del Vecchio, a pass to Bellefontaine at his own blue line. 4 of them up at center. Manley ran into Fontaine. Howe trying to get around Horton. He was partially checked, hit by Horton. Howe goes down. The puck came out in front of the Leafs goal, and Stanley knocks it down the ice. Delvecchio back for it. A pass to Packer McDonald. To Gordie Howe. Over the line. His pass right in front, and Joyelle shot it high and wide. Armstrong trying to get it out. For Horton, stopped by Delvecchio. A shot was wide. Gordie Howe took a shot. Stanley puts it down the ice after intercepting. Stewart and Nevin come over the board. Delvecchio back for it, number 10. Detroit bring it out. Fontaine, a pass to Packer McDonald. Up for Gordie Howe, stopped by Brewer. Joyelle has to go back. Pass to Packer McDonald. A long one for Gordie Howe, went into the Maple Leaf bench. We're at the 11:18 mark of the first period, and this game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
A real buy for motoring shoppers. Kodak 8 movie camera, only $19.99 at Esso dealers now.
1-0 Detroit. Stasiak getting it back for Pete Goigan. Hooper still in the penalty box. Leafs playing a man short. Gadsby ahead to Floyd Smith with Ullman. They're over the line to Ullman. Ullman takes a shot. He hits the side of the net. It's right in front for Stasiak, and he's checked by Nevin. Nevin pokes it, but not out. Goigan took his shot, and it goes into the corner. Brewer and Floyd Smith bump together. Ullman flips it back for Gadsby. Gadsby's shot is wide. Stasiak ran into Vaughn. Stasiak trying to center, he did, and that shot went wide. Floyd Smith, checked by Stewart. Turned around on the boards for Nevin. Nevin ran into Stasiak. Then Ullman is hit. Hooper runs into him. Stasiak trying to get out in front. Here's the front to Smith. And Brewer fell in front of it. It goes to the boards. Here's Bill Gadsby getting set. Pass back to Goigan. His drive is right in front of the goal. Saved by Brewer, but not out. Gadsby shot right on the net. And they shot it wide. And it ends up right in front of the net again, and it comes over to Pulford. Pulford goes down at center. A long shot is wide. Ends up behind the net. And the Red Wings do everything but score. Up the ice for Goigan. Here's Stasiak. Johnny McMillan is out there now with Litzenberger on the forward line. Horton is checked, but he pokes it loose to Johnny McMillan. Going up with Kelly and Litzenberger. Over the line. McMillan stops. Pass it right for Litzenberger. Litzenberger back to McMillan. He's trying to center it. Stasiak knocked it out to the wing. It comes in front of the Detroit goal, and Bill Gadsby takes it to safety. A pass to Bruce McGregor. Up at center. Andre Pronovo is checked, and Kelly turns for the Leafs. Pass to Litzenberger. Over the line. Pass it right in front of the net. Here's Horton getting set. The shot. And Stasiak got it wide. It rebounded off Litzenberger's stick. Andre Pronovo goes to center. A long shot. Bauer caught it. Stanley back. He's chased out of the way. Bruce McGregor trying to center it. Horton covers him. Horton flips it, but not out. To Andre Pronovo, who's bumped. And Horton flips it down the ice. Doug Barkley, number 5, is back for it. 6 minutes remaining in the first period. 1-0 Detroit. I saw Pronovo at his own blue line. Nicely away from Kelly, gets away from him, shoots it in offside. I'll take an extra step going over that blue line. 1-0 Detroit. Stasiak from Smith and Ullman after just 33 seconds of the first period. 5 minutes, 47 seconds remaining in this first period. From the face-off, back to Marcel Pronovo, and he just shot it over the Leaf line, and Brewer's back for it. Over to Bob Bond. Hit Delvecchio. Knocked into the Leaf zone. Duff is back for it first. He lost it to Tucker McDonald here. Nearly had a shot. Armstrong for Duff and Keon. Stopped by Marcel Pronovo. Played out to center. Gordie Howe. Clearing pass over to Doug Barkley. Keon poked at it. Brewer checked Howe, and Duff comes up with it. Duff. Long pass for Keon. Getting in on the left wing. Ace is good. It slid through into the net. Dave Keon has tied it up for the lead. Keon. Shot slid through Sarchuk into the net. And that ties it up 1-1. On the faceoff, back for Havlich. A pass to Dave Keon. Back for Havlich, too far. Gansby shot it back into the lead zone. Douglas. Pass to Armstrong. On the right wing, coming to center. A back pass to Douglas off the board. Douglas gets over the line. A pass from Havlich. He let it go to Kelly. Kelly shot it, and Keon deflected it wide. Here's Armstrong with it. Passing it right in spot. Sarchuk stopped that. Kelly lets one go, and Gansby knocked it out to the side. Kelly keeps the puck in. Jammed by Gansby. Hit into the corner. Back to Douglas. Over for Havlich. He let it go wide. Keon has it in the corner. Tried to pass it for Kelly, and it was paid out to center. Havlich back. Up the center. Checked by Gansby. Kelly checked him. Back from Havlich. Behind Stewart. Keon goes after it. Keeps it in. Here's Stewart coming from the side. His shot. Sarchuk stopped that. Havlich missed the rebound. Howman out for Fontaine, and it was stopped. Played out off Douglas to Fontaine, who was checked. And Kelly over for Duff. Duff. A pass for Stewart outside as Howe is back on the ice. 1 minute. 10 seconds remaining in the first period, a 1-1 tie. Harris now goes to center ice with Ritzenberger on the left wing and Stewart on the right, Bond and Brewer on the defense. Ullman with Howe and Del Vecchio. Marcel Pronovo and Doug Barkley. Comes back to Brewer. Brewer takes a shot that Gordie Howe knocked down with his glove. Litzenberger is checked. Gordie Howe goes after a pass of his own. Less than a minute to go in this first period as Bauer shot it off the glass to try to keep the puck in with a shot that goes to Litzenberger. Litzenberger getting away from Ullman. Up the center. Kicks it over the line. That's Stewart racing after it. Trying to center it. He shot it behind the net. Comes back to Brewer. Brewer passed it for Litzenberger. A shot. Sarchuk stopped that. Another shot right in front of the net. And Marcel Pronovo comes up with it to Gordie Howe. Coming down the ice over the line. A shot. And Bauer caught that and held it for a faceoff. .25 seconds remaining in the first period. It's a 1-1 tie. Howe, Ullman, Del Vecchio. Marcel Pronovo and Bill Gadsby. Hoyton and Stanley come over the boards now for the Maple Leafs to replace Brewer and Bond. Litzenberger, Stewart, and Harris. Now then Kelly's coming out. The white helmet. On the face-off, Kelly. A foot pass, too far. Ullman bats it with his glove. It goes loose. Alex Del Vecchio shot it into the corner, and Stanley wrapped it out to center ice where Gadsby. Clearing pass to Marcel Pronovo. Pronovo takes a long shot. Bauer tipped it off to the side, even though it was off the target. Stanley just flips it down the ice to center, and it goes back to Bill Gadsby. Dansby takes a long shot. Bauer caught that. There goes the horn. The first period is over. Stasiak from Smith and Elman after 33 seconds. Keon from Duff and Brewer at 14:56. And so at the end of the first period, the score, Detroit Red Wings 1 and the Toronto Maple Leafs 1.
Your Imperial Esso dealer. In cooperation with the biggest name in motion picture cameras, presents you with a spectacular movie camera value designed for the whole family. The Kodak Hawkeye 8mm movie camera at your Esso dealers now for just $19.99.
And it's the biggest home movie value ever at $19.99, because you would normally expect to pay as high as $35 for a camera of this type. It's made in Canada, and it carries a full 1-year guarantee from Kodak. It's the easiest camera in the world to operate. For light settings, just rotate the dial. For bright or dull, indoors or out. The Hawkeye is powered by a strong, quiet motor. You just wind and hold away the handle. And loading is simplicity itself. Watch. See, no extra loops and sprockets to get wound up in. Just aim through the built-in viewfinder and press the button. This camera makes a perfect motoring mate. You'll capture this year's motoring memories to enjoy over and over again. Make sure of your Hawkeye 8 now. At $19.99, there's no need to wait. You can charge it on your Essomatic credit card. Drive in and get your Hawkeye on the spot, or pick up a handy mail order form at Esso dealers, wherever you see this display. Truly an outstanding value. At your neighborhood Esso dealers. He's right with the times with more products, more services for you, the motoring shopper.
First period, what did you think were the highlights? Did he play well? Well, I think one of the highlights has to be, Ward, that the score is tied 1-1. It could easily be 3-0 for Detroit. They played just magnificently well, particularly Stasiak. He got the goal, but I don't think that was the main job he did. He went out there and took on the Leafs' toughest players, Bond and Horton, and he also tangled with Stanley a few times. I think he set the pace. And when an old-timer like that comes back and shows these youngsters that he's out there digging and really working, I think everybody else caught fire from Stasiak's effort out there. He was just terrific.
Well, now, Howie is a former Leaf with a great sort of attachment there, and as a Newfoundlander now with Alec Faulkner. What about your divided loyalties?
Well, actually, I think hockey is such a wonderful spectacle. All I'm interested in is seeing a real good hockey game, and I love to see the team away from home win. I can't stand this team winning at home and losing away. So I'm usually with the team that's away from home, and they put up a good performance.
Well, we're having an exciting game tonight. Now, let's talk a bit about Alec Faulkner. He's the pride of Newfoundland, and with good reason, right?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. This youngster has done so much, I think, for just the general confidence of the people in Newfoundland. Here's a boy that has come from the worst hockey league in the world to perform with the top people in the world and doing very, very well. The question all during the winter, Ward, was, is Alec going to stay? Newfoundlanders just couldn't believe that. He was in the National Hockey League, and was he going to stay? They were afraid that one morning they were going to wake up and read in the papers where he'd been sent down. And now I think the 2 winning goals that he got against Chicago is just not only build up Alec's confidence, but the confidence of every Newfoundlander.
And how did you feel he played in that first period tonight?
Well, I thought he proved to me he was a professional. He walked in on the toughest defense in the league, Bond and Brewer. He had McGregor open on the right wing. He drew them together, took a terrific punishing body check, and slid the puck through, and McGregor went around and would have had a home free try-on goal, except he was hooked and Fulford got the penalty. And this, to me, able to take punishment and play good at the same time, this is a sign of a National Leaguer, and this little fella's a National Leaguer.
This may be a very obvious question, Howie, but
How does Newfoundland feel about this series? Who are they for?
Oh, Detroit Red Wings, no doubt about it.
Well, now, before Alec came on so big with the Red Wings, how was it the feeling sort of split?
I would say 75% were Toronto fans due to the fact that we got Toronto on radio. And they're very, very loyal Toronto fans. In recent years, I think the younger generation switched to the Montreal Canadiens. Now I would think at least 80% of Newfoundlanders are for Alec Faulkner and Detroit.
Well, now, while we're out in that part of the country, the East, we should mention the two McDonald's for Detroit.
Yes, and I'd also like to mention Billy Taylor, a youngster who's played 3 years with the Guelph Junior team, and according to the top Ranger brass, he has an excellent chance of becoming a National Leaguer, so perhaps we might have two Newfoundlanders in the National Hockey League.
Well, actually, you were talking to Red Sullivan on this earlier.
That's right, sir, yes.
What all did he say?
Well, he said it was very good. He said he saw the youngster play in the Eastern Hockey League just the other day against Kingston and played very, very well. He's a youngster that comes to play hockey. When he laces on the skates, hockey's top priority, and I think hockey fans around the NHL have a real treat in store for this kid because he's a throwback to the old days. He's a good checker, and he'll work and work and work, and his performances have been very good in junior hockey.
And how is he, a big youngster, or is he like Alec?
No, he's a big youngster, a good, tough youngster, too, and he'll get along good in the National Hockey League if he can skate with them.
Fine. Thank you very much, Howie Meeker, for chatting with us, and you'll be back later in the series, so thanks very much. And now it's up top to Frank Selke, Jr.
Thanks a lot, Ward. Frank Selke Jr. upstairs. And from Howie Meeker in the east coast of Canada, we go to Tommy Ivan in the Midwest of the United States from Chicago. Tom, this is the first game that I've seen you at of this series. Quite a hockey game for us tonight.
Oh, terrific hockey game, Frank. Going both ways. You know, there's a lot of checking and a lot of good hard shooting, too.
Tommy, your Blackhawks won the first two games of your series against Detroit, and I think people all across the country figured you had that series locked up. And then you came back here, lost two, and finally went out 4 straight. What is it about this Red Wing team that catches fire when they're down and when they're in trouble?
Well, I think, Frank, they're a better hockey club than a lot of people give them credit to be. They're checking, they're playing their position, and also they're skating, which is very, very important, and they're shooting the puck. We run into them in the playoffs, and they were hot, and they played very, very well. They deserved to win the way they played. They certainly played better than we did.
Tom, I mentioned to you before that there are an awful lot of Chicago fans in Canada. There are a lot of them right in the city of Montreal that I know very well, and I'm sure they would like some sort of idea from you on what happened to your Blackhawks in that series.
Well, in the series against Detroit, Frank, we met a club that was hot, and apparently we had cooled off a little bit, and they were hot, and actually they beat us, that's all. They were a better hockey club than we were in the playoffs. We must have taken a little out of them, though, because they went into Toronto, and they didn't have too much left there, but however, they're playing well tonight, and there's no other reason that I know of, Frank, other than the reason that Detroit skated better, they shot the puck more often, and they played their position better than we did.
Tommy, we heard a lot when we were covering the other series. We heard a lot about some of your Blackhawk players being injured, and the news not made public because you didn't want people to know, and you didn't want any alibying. Pierre Palat was one that we heard was on the limp. Was there any truth to that? Did you have some fellas who were playing while injured?
Well, yes, we had some injuries, Frank, but when you start talking about injuries, I think you're looking for an alibi, and we're not too interested in alibying when you lose. The refereeing was good, the ice was good, and we got beat. That's right, and we got beat by a better hockey club in the playoff series.
Tom, another question that has popped into mind. In recent seasons, the Blackhawks have always started very slowly up until about Christmas, and then they seem to gather speed and just roll right through to the playoffs. Now, this year you started the other way and kind of died off at the end of the season. Would you think maybe the change in the start this season against other years might have had some effect on the way your club finished up?
Well, it could have, Frank, but we wanted to win that National League Championship so bad that we did get off to a good start and kept playing fairly well right up until possibly the last 2 weeks of the schedule, and that was the reason for us playing that well. We wanted to win the National League Championship, and we could have if we had played well enough the last 2 weeks, but we didn't.
Tom, a lot of people know that you have a pretty successful farm team down in Buffalo, but they're not perhaps too sure of some of the names of players that are there that you might be counting on. Could you tell us a bit about them?
Well, Frank, there's 4 or 5 names. There's 6 names, actually, there. We're counting on anybody that we have there. And for me to mention names, I think they're in the playoffs, and I don't think it's right that I should mention names. We have 3 or 4 pretty good prospects there.
You don't want to put them on the spot. You don't want to tip your hand either.
Well, no, they're playing fairly well, and they're in the round against Providence right now, and it's quite possible they might beat Providence, and I hope they do. And if they do, why, I don't think I should go on say who's playing well and who isn't playing well. They're all playing well right now.
Okay, Tom, nice talking to you. Now let's go back downstairs to Ward.
Ward Alligator, and we have our 2 NHL experts with us tonight again, Pierre Palat and Bobby Allen. Boys, your comments on that first period?
Well,
Pierre.
I like the way the Detroit club started the game. I think right from the face-off, they went to Toronto end, and they caused a lot of commotion there, and threw a far one of the Toronto player, I thought, scored their first goal. Another thing I noticed, I thought that Horton, a couple of times, I don't know if you've noticed it, took Howe out into the boards pretty hard, and it seemed you don't usually do that to Howe, and I'm just wondering whether he has recovered from the flu, and if he hasn't, it could be a big deciding factor in this game.
Bobby? A little disastrous for Detroit if Gordy isn't going, I would say. Ward, I noticed that I have had people ask me many times, sports writers and fans, does the home rink mean that great a difference to the home club? And I think it just proved it out here tonight, the way this Detroit club have been hustling in Toronto for the first 2 games, and I know in Detroit, or in Chicago, for the first 2 games that we beat them, they didn't seem to have the hustle and drive. And here tonight, they started off, as Pierre said, like a house of fire. And I believe that to a great lot of teams, to the majority of the players, that the home rink, I think, means a lot. And Detroit has proven it here tonight.
A lot of players always mention ice. The ice is good, or the ice isn't as good. Now, what about the ice here in Detroit?
Well, I thought of that lots of time. This year, the ice, I don't think has been as good as Detroit's other years. But I think, talking about ice, I think a hockey player, through the years, he will play good in a certain rink at a certain one time. Like I remember when I first came in the league, I used to love to play in Detroit and in Boston, and I hated to play in Toronto. I couldn't do a thing in Toronto. Then maybe the next year would change, and I would say, well, blame it on the ice. Maybe the ice maker's not making a good ice.
Bobby, very quickly, what do you feel about that?
I think, Pierre, why you didn't play so well in Toronto is because a lot of your friends and family come to see you, and I know I'm the same way. I love to do well when my folks are there, my dad and mom and relatives, and I think that it means a lot.
I think you do pretty well, Bob.
I think you both do very well. In just a moment, Bill Hewitt, the play-by-play of the second period.
Sky's getting bluer. The sun's getting warmer. That means it's almost touring time. For your motoring vacation, may I recommend heading out on the new Trans-Canada Highway. Almost 5,000 miles of scenic beauty and variety. And for happy motoring, the place to start is right here at your neighborhood Esso dealers. Ask him for an Esso Touring Service request card. Fill it in, mail it, and back will come this complete travel kit containing marked maps, travel tips, where to stay, what to see. Then add your Essomatic credit card and a pre-trip safety check by your Esso dealer, and Canada is yours to enjoy. And here's something to help you with your pre-trip planning. The new Esso Trans-Canada Highway Map, the most complete, accurate, and up-to-date map of its kind. Your Esso dealer has a copy for you. Drop in and get yours now. Use the Esso Trans-Canada Highway Map to help you decide where to go. Then let Esso Touring Service show you how to get there. And wherever you travel in Canada, from St. John's, Newfoundland to Nanaimo, BC, Esso dealers are right with the times, with more service, more value for you, the motoring shopper.
Maple Leafs, the first to appear on the ice for their second period, with the score tied 1-1. And Vic Stasiak opened the scoring from Smith and Ullman after just 33 seconds. Dave Keon tied it up from Duff and Carl Brewer at 14:56. A rugged first period of hockey, which saw the two teams have the same number of shots on goal, 10 apiece. They're asking again to please refrain from throwing things on the ice. After they made the first announcement, hasn't been anything thrown since. Of course, the Red Wings haven't scored since then. We'll see what happens if and when they score again. Two penalties, one apiece in the first period. Referee Frank Adberry calls the teams to center ice for their second period. Normie Ullman will lead off at center ice with Vic Stasiak on the left wing. Floyd Smith, number 17, on the right. Duff, Keon, and Armstrong. The Leafs are in white, and the Red Wings in their dark red uniforms. Going up dark on the screen. Alan Stanley off the board. Stopped by Ullman and flipped it right to Stanley again, and he lost it. Armstrong intercepted to Hoyton. Hoyton on his own blue line. A pass for Keon. Slides by Marcel Tonabo. Keon goes after it. Into the corner, slipped it back for Armstrong. Armstrong passed it off the boards for Stanley. Stanley shot it wide to Keon, right in front for Armstrong. Vic Stasiak stopped by Duff. Duff shot it into the corner, and it's Bill Gansby. A pass off the boards for Floyd Smith. For Ullman. Ullman to Stasiak. He's draped into the boards by Hoyton, and Stanley gets back for it. A flip pass for Keon and Duff. They're checked by Floyd Smith, who passed it in front of Stasiak, shot it wide. Over to Armstrong. Armstrong couldn't get out. A pass for Stasiak, stopped by Stanley. Stanley to Keon. Keon for Armstrong to fire. Marcel Tonabo. A pass to Vic Stasiak, number 11. A long pass right to Stanley. Shot it over the line. Doug Barkley brings it up for Detroit. A pass to Ullman, who's bumped by Stanley. A long shot goes right to Bauer, and Hoyton has it. Hoyton ran into Floyd Smith. The puck goes to Ullman. Ullman to Marcel Tonabo. He shot it, and Bauer stopped that. Back goes Hoyton. Up with Duff and Keon. Over the line, and it's offside. Face-off will be outside the Detroit blue line. We've played a minute and 38 seconds of the second period. Detroit 1, Toronto Maple Leafs 1. Alex Delvecchio, Packer McDonald, Gordie Howe facing Fulford, Shack, and Nevin. And that didn't last long. Coming over the boards, Alex Faulkner with Bruce McGregor and Andre Pronovo. On the face-off, back to Shack. Shack shot it off the boards to Pulfrey. Pulfrey took his shot, and Sarchuk stopped that. Pete Goigan, number 18. A pass to Bruce McGregor. Missed a check from Shack. Long shot into the link zone. Bauer stopped the rebound off the boards. Bob Vaughn, a clearing pass to Bob Nevin. Getting it out to center ice. Fulford went after it, but Bill Gadsby knocked it down and gave it to Brewer. Brewer comes up over the Detroit line. Takes his shot. Bill Gadsby, a pass to Bruce McGregor. Stopped by Shack. He knocked it in behind the Detroit goal, and Pete Goigan has it. His pass to Andre Pronovo. He's bumped. He's partially blocked. Gets it again to Alex Faulkner, and it was nowhere near him. Kyle Brewer to Bob Vaughn. Goes over the Detroit line. Takes his shot. Sarchuk stopped that. It passed right in front of the net and hit a skate. Bruce McGregor trying to get away. Kyle Brewer passed it to Bob Nevin. Bob Nevin off the boards to Bob Fulford. Fulford into the corner. Passed it back to the blue line. Back down. Going it over to Bruce McGregor. Over the line, and he's hit by Brewer. Bob Vaughn clears it for Nevin on the right wing, and Goigan had moved up to stop it. Shack, a long pass, hit Nevin. Bruce McGregor Tried to slip it through the Leafs defense. Nevin knocked Andre Pronovo into the boards. Bill Gadsby to Bruce McGregor, and it's offside. Detroit were changing, and Andre Pronovo's hurt himself. Gets a bit of encouragement from Sid Abel, the coach. And takes a turn on the bench. Now as the Red Wings have sent out Alex Delvecchio, Parker McDonald, Gordie Howe, Kelly, Stewart, and Litzenberger. A 1-1 tie. We've played 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the second period. Alan Stanley, number 26, goes back behind the Leaf net. A pass to Tim Horton. Off the boards. Red Kelly couldn't get away. Parker McDonald shot it into the Leaf zone. Stanley. Meanwhile, Delvecchio, a long pass to Kelly at the blue line. He's checked by Gordie Howe. There's a shot, and Powers dropped that. Red Wings have been stopping Leaf forwards in their own zone and getting great shots away, and that one was by Gordie Howe, and Bauer had to be fast on that. He got that one in the stomach. Now set for the face-off. It comes back to Doug Barkley. His shot hit Kelly's skate. Kelly gives it to Stewart. Stewart in possession. A clearing pass deflected by Litzenberger. Alan Stanley failed to get away. Gordie Howe. A pass to Parker McDonald. He was checked by Stewart, who shot it off the boards. Litzenberger trying to get it out. Stewart breaks away with Kelly. Stewart over the line. Takes his shot, and Swatek stopped that. Pace off in the Detroit zone to the right. We've played 4 minutes and 15 seconds now of the second period. A 1-1 tie. Litzenberger back to Kelly. He couldn't get his shot. And Gordie Howe breaks away with Marcel Pronovo and Alex Delvecchio. Over the line, Stanley hit Kelly with it. Kelly overskated the puck, and Alex Delvecchio turns for Detroit. A pass stopped by Stewart. Stewart flipping it out to center ice. Gordie Howe turns at his own blue line. A pass over to Parker McDonald. Back to Gordie Howe. Skating over the blue line. Has it against the boards. It's tapped down the ice, and Stewart races after it. Litzenberger trying to catch up with him. Stewart couldn't center it. Marcel Pronovo was checked by Litzenberger, and the puck hit his ankle and went over the glass. There'll be a face-off, and this game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
Esso Extra gasoline. More quality, more value for you, the motoring shopper.
We have played 4 minutes and 55 seconds of the second period. It's a 1-1 tie. Detroit won, the Leafs won. Brewer shot the puck into the Detroit zone. Pete Goygan, number 18, cleared it out to Normie Elman. Over to Stasiak, back to Floyd Smith, over the line. He kicked at it, but couldn't control it. And the checking is very close. Goygan just shoots the puck into the Leaf zone. Bauer to Brewer. Duff trying to come out with it. Goes in behind the net. A flip pass to Armstrong. It's kept in by Stasiak. Bauer stopping it. Bob Braun. It's Keon, but Brewer. A flip pass to Keon. Keon goes over the line with Armstrong. Closing in. Keon tried a shot. And that was stopped by Gadsby. Bill Gadsby, number 4. Bringing it out. At his own blue line. Up the center. Takes a long shot. Bauer stopping that and giving it to Duff. Duff just shot it out to center ice, and it goes down into the Detroit zone. Gadsby gets back for it, touches it before it crosses the red line. Floyd Smith being watched by Duff. Shot it into Gadsby in the corner. Gadsby up to Ullman. He's bumped.
Floyd Smith over to Stasiak. He rolls it through, and Powers stops that. Ullman's shot is knocked down, and Keon has it. Away goes Keon with Duffin Armstrong. Keon took a shot off the boards. Armstrong took a whack at it. And Floyd Smith checked him before he could get his drive away. Puck was cleared into the Leaf bench by Braun after running into Ullman. We're at the 6:38 mark of the second period. It's a 1-1 tie. Alex Faulkner at center ice. Andre Pronovo and Bruce McGregor, and Frank Mahavich is out with Kelly and Stewart, and Mahavich is taking his first regular turn on the line. He was out once in the first period, and the Leafs had the odd man advantage. Alan Shack comes out to replace Mahavich. Has to stay out on the ice. On the face-off, Stewart over to Stanley. Stanley just shot it into the Detroit zone, and Larry Jeffrey goes after it. Jeffrey watched by Kelly. Played around on the boards. Havertz at Howe. Howe hit Kelly. Kelly handed it to Doug Barkley, and Barkley to Del Vecchio. Pass over for Larry Jeffrey, and shot was wide. Gordie Howe let one go at Stanley, deflected off to the wing. Larry Jeffrey passed it out in front, and Stanley has it. He just shoots it down the ice. Trying to go over the red line. Marcel Pronovo will touch it. The Leafs will be called for icing, and we have reached the 7:20 mark of the second period. A 1-1 tie. Detroit won, the Leafs won. Jack with Hofford and Nevin. Facing Alex Faulkner, Andre Pronovo, and Bruce McGregor. Hofford. A pass past Nevin to center ice. Marcel Pronovo. His pass at Andre Pronovo, and he was going the wrong way. Hofford up to check him. Sending it right in front of the net. Marcel Pronovo shot it off the boards, and Brewer trapped it, but outside the line. And then shoots one back, a bouncer. They went right to Sarchuk. Doug Barkley to Marcel Pronovo. He's bumped by Pulford. Doug Barkley, a pass to Bruce McGregor. Up to Alex Faulkner. Alex Faulkner over the Leaf line, ran into Brewer, and Vaughn goes back for it. A pass for Nevin, stopped by Marcel Pronovo. It's kept in by Alex Faulkner. Shot! Alex Faulkner scores for Detroit. And that makes it 2-1. For Detroit, Alex Faulkner. The Pride of Newfoundland comes through with a very important goal for the Red Wings. Now we have more debris on the ice. Was the time of Alex Faulkner's goal from McGregor and Marcel Pronovo.
Detroit lead 2-1. Team skating around on the ice. Now they have it all cleaned up, and we'll resume play again. We're at the 8:13 mark of the second period. Detroit 2, Toronto Maple Leafs 1. Keon with Duff and Armstrong. Alman with Floyd Smith and Vic Stasiak. Doug Brackley and Marcel Pronovo. The puck goes back into the Detroit zone, and Marcel Pronovo back there for it, hit the back of the net. Armstrong raced in after it. Vic Stasiak. Watched by Keon. Hoyton let his shot go, and that was wide. Stanley moves up. He's checked by Floyd Smith, who cleared it out to center ice. Hoyton over to Armstrong. He shot it over the line. Doug Brackley cleared it out again. Alan Stanley then moves up, shot it back into the Detroit zone. And Doug Brackley clearing fast, stopped by Stanley again. Waits for his teammates to get on side. Hit Floyd Smith with it. Doug Brackley took a long shot that was wide. Bauer caught it off the back board. It's still in the Leaf zone. Floyd Smith tried to kick it loose, and Dave Keon comes up with it. He was checked. Aumann got it back into the corner. Stanley gives it to Keon, who shot it around on the board. Marcel Pronovo shot, and that deflected wide. Stanley puts it up for Keon. He's got a breakaway coming in the left wing. He stops. Passing it over for Armstrong, and Stasiak broke it out. There goes Aumann over the line. Trying to go through. He's turned around by Hoyton. Right in front of the net. Stanley sits down, and there's going to be a penalty to the Leafs. Hoyton gets the gate. Only the third penalty in the game, handed out by referee Frank Adbury. .935, a hooking penalty to Hoyton. Hofford and Nevin, Brewer and Vaughn. Parker McDonald, Eddie Joyal, Gordie Howe, Alex Delvecchio, and Val Fontaine. On the face-off, Gordie Howe, watched by Pulford, gets it loose, pass it out in front, and Nevin intercepts and shoots it down the ice, and Alex Delvecchio, number 10, goes back for it. Coming up to the 10-minute mark in this second period, Pulford flipped the puck back after intercepting a pass. Alex Delvecchio. Pass over on the left wing to Packer McDonald. To Eddie Joyal. Up over the Leaf line. Joyal took his shot. Val Fontaine took a whack at it. Vaughn has it against the boards. It goes loose. Joyal takes his shot. And Bauer stopped that. Val Fontaine to Alex Delvecchio. His shot was knocked down. Vaughn bumps into Packer McDonald. Gordie Howe passed it out over the line, and Pulford races after it. Pulford going over the line. Takes his shot. Sacek stops it. Nevin missed the rebound. Back for Joyal. Over the line. He's poked. Nevin gets the puck out. Pulford goes after it. Up over the line. Passing it back for Nevin, and Nevin shot it back into his own zone. Brewer. Off the boards to center. Alex Delvecchio to Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe on the wing to Packer McDonald. He's checked. Armstrong lost it to Packer McDonald. He fakes his shot. Still has it. Tried to pass it. Bob Bond lost it. Val Fontaine watched by Keon. Keon gets it out over the line, and Armstrong has it. One man back. Armstrong over the line. Takes a shot, lets it go, and he shot it wide. Gordie Howe trying to get away from Keon. Gives to Alex Delvecchio. Over the line to Howe. Howe stops. Pass it back for Joyelle. Hoyton covers him. Jams him in on the boards, and Brewer shot it around on the glass, and it went into the crowd. And we've played 11 minutes and 48 seconds of the second period, and this game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
A monthly safety check. More service for you, the motoring shopper.
Detroit 2, Toronto Maple Leafs 1. This second period. On the face-off, Kelly. With Stanley and Mahavlich. They're stopped by Normie Ullman. Ullman passed it in front for Stasiak, and Stewart came out of nowhere to stop it, but Floyd Smith has it. Pass it back, and it hits Stewart. Mahavlich is there for it. Pass for Kelly. Kelly up at center. Long pass for Stewart. He couldn't get over the line, and Floyd Smith covers up. His pass, stopped by Stanley. With Mahavlich. Mahavlich let one go, and Patrick stopped that. It's played down the ice by Detroit. Going over the red line. Hoyton back to touch it, and it will be called icing at the 11:31 mark. At the second period, and Detroit leading 2-1. Stasiak and Keon scoring in the first period. Alex Faulkner in the second. Kelly, Mahavlich, Stewart, Stanley, and Hoyton all playing up. Stasiak, Ullman, and Floyd Smith with Gadsby and Goigan. On the face-off, the puck in the circle, Detroit territory. Kelly, grabbed by Gadsby. Stewart trying to center it. Kelly couldn't get to it. Floyd Smith in the corner, clearing past the blue line. Stanley broke it up, then Floyd Smith brings it out. Up to the Leaf line and over. Pass it back to Stasiak. Tried to pass it in front, and it was wide of the net. Hoyton brings it up now for the Leafs with Kelly over the line. Kelly waits, takes his shot. Patrick stopped that. It's good! Hoyton knocked it in the net. Hoyton knocked the puck in the net, and it's tied up 2-2. Going to talk to the linesman. There may be some it's a goal. Hoyton will likely get credit for it. And it's a 2-2 tie. Hoyton scoring. And there's an egg out on the ice. They'll need the scraper out here. Trying to wait for the official time, but Hoyton was the one that was whacking at it at the edge of that goal crease. Harry Sarchuk was claiming that Hoyton was in there. The referee, after consulting with the two lines, Whiten from Mahavlich was the scoring play to tie it up 2-all. I don't know whether you can see the egg on the ice or not, but they're getting closer to it. They haven't reached it yet. This game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
Atlas seatbelts. More quality, more value for you, the motoring shopper.
Now they're at the egg, scraping it up on the ice, and Sawchuk is out there. Whiten from Mahavlich at 13:06, and it's a 2-all tie. In the first period, Stasiuk from Smith and Ullman at 33 seconds, and Keon from Duff and Brewer at 14:56. And in the second period, Alex Faulkner from Bruce McGregor and Marcel Pronomo at 8:13, and now Whiten from Mahavlich at 13:06. And it's all tied up 2-all. All set for the face-off now. Lanes have Douglas and Vaughn on the defense. Alvin Douglas is going off and Brewer staying out. Hopeford with Nevin and Johnny McMillan on the left wing. Alex Faulkner with Andre Pronovo on the left wing and Bruce McGregor on the right. Marcel Pronovo and Doug Backley on the defense. Score is tied 2-all. Some fans are yelling, "Go Leafs, go," and of course that riles up the Detroit fans. And from the face-off, the puck is back in the Detroit zone. Alex Faulkner couldn't get away. Johnny McMillan took a pass from Hopeford and goes back into his own zone. He flipped it right to Andre Pronovo, who knocked it right back to him, hit the back of his skate. Bob Bond a pass, headed for Nevin, and stopped by Marcel Pronovo. Shot hit Bob Bond. Bob Bond runs into Andre Pronovo. The puck goes to the corner. Alex Faulkner trying to center it. Gets it back to Marcel Pronovo. There's his shot. It's goal! Alex Faulkner scores again for Detroit. And Detroit lead it 3-2. Alex Faulkner deflected the shot from Marcel Pronovo. And it's 3-2 Detroit. And that means the papers will have to be picked up again. And Alex Faulkner deflected the shot. And now it's 3-2 Detroit. Now the scraper's coming out again. This time it's over near the late bench. $13:39. Whiten's goal was at 13:06. Alex Faulkner has scored 2 goals in this second period, giving the Red Wings the lead twice. Now coming out, Alman with Stasiak and Floyd Smith. Bruce McGregor also got an assist on that last goal by Alex Faulkner. So Detroit leads 3-2 in front of the face-off. It's cleared into the Detroit zone. Floyd Smith gets away from Duff. Gets it up at center. Horton steps into him as the puck slides in behind Bauer. Stanley a pass for Duff. Floyd Smith shot it back in behind the Leaf net, and Horton a pass to Armstrong. Up to Keon. Keon was checked. Then Stanley moves up. A pass for Keon was behind him. Back for Ullman. Long shot. Bauer knocked it into the corner. Duff stopped by Ullman. Played out to the blue line to Doug Barkley. His shot was just wide of the net. Horton, a flip pass for Keon too far. Marcel Pronovo covers it along the boards. Ullman bumped into Duff. Ullman is bumped. Horton can't get it out. Here's a chance for Marcel Pronovo to Ullman. He says it right in front of the net. Bauer stopped it, and Armstrong clears it, and there's going to be a penalty to a Leaf. Leafs will get a penalty. Alan Stanley, likely for hooking. That gives Detroit the man advantage. Playing 6 men to 5. "14 minutes and 44 seconds of the second period, with Detroit leading 3-2. Now coming out, Del Vecchio, Howe, Packer McDonald, Bill Gadsby, Val Fontaine. Crawford and Nevin are coming out. Douglas and Horton on the defense. Detroit play every man up. They're leading the hockey game 3-2. We're at the 14:44 mark as the puck hit Nevin from the face-off after Bellefontaine let it go. Back to Bill Gadsby, number 4. Ahead to Packer McDonald. Packer McDonald goes over the line with Gordie Howe, who was behind him, and it's called offside at the Leaf blue line. 4 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the second period. 3-2 Detroit. Comes back to Bellefontaine. Bill Gadsby. Over to Fontaine. Nevin fell. Shot into the Leaf zone behind Bauer. Douglas shot it off the boards, but not out. Bill Gadsby kept it in. It hit Horton. Horton tried to get it out. Gadsby moves up with a shot. That's wide. Packer McDonald set it in front. Gordie Howe took a drive. Alex Delvecchio back to Bellefontaine to Alex Delvecchio. Gordie Howe standing in front. He went to the corner to get it. Back to Bellefontaine. Here's a shot knocked down by Horton, and he gives it to Pulford. Pulford up for Nevin. Pulford takes a shot. Kotek stopping it. And Gordie Howe's back there. Nevin falls. Gordie Howe at his own blue line to center. Over to Delvecchio. Delvecchio passes it to the blue line and out. Gadsby. Flip pass for Packer McDonald. Packer McDonald to Bellefontaine. Up over the leaf line to Delvecchio. Back to Gordie Howe. He passed it back for Gadsby. There's a shot, and it hit Douglas. Douglas just shoots it down the ice. Kotek stopping it there for Gadsby. Pass to Gordie Howe, back to Bill Gadsby. Up at center. to Valfontaine over the line to Del Vecchio. For Gordie Howe, and a stop by Brewer and shot down the ice. 3-2 Detroit. 3 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the second period. Pass for Del Vecchio. Floyd Smith left it for Del Vecchio along the boards. Back to him at center ice. He's spun around by Armstrong. Stanley goes over to the Detroit line. A pass for Keon. Kochek shot it into the corner. Duff took a shot. Marcel Pronovo behind the net. The Leafs are at full strength. Covers Marcel Pronovo. Comes up with it. Cleared out the center ice. Keon intercepts. Brewer to Keon. Up over the Detroit line. Takes his shot. He falls. Armstrong gets the rebound. Back to Bond. His shot was wide. Floyd Smith. Away from Duff at center. Takes a long shot. That bounces and Bauer stirred it off into the corner. 3-2 Detroit in this second period. Long pass for Duff at center. Duff over the line. He's in the clear. Swinging on goal. And he was taken on the play by Marcel Pronovo from behind. Rick Stasiak hit by Vaughn. Brewer lost possession of it. Kept in by Doug Barkley. A shot in a leg. Goes to the corner. Rick Stasiak gets it loose. Trying to center it. A shot. And hit Parham wide. Bruce McGregor trying to center it in front, and Armstrong created the blue line. It's kept in. A shot knocked down by Brewer. Brewer tips it out. He's got to break away with Keon. Over the line and then coming back neatly with Doug Barkley. Armstrong gets over the line. And Vic Stasiak lost it. Armstrong trying to get loose. Armstrong shoots it. Kochek stopped that. Marcel Pronovo to Stasiak. Heading past to Bruce McGregor. Up over the blue line. A shot. That was wide. Bond gets it out over the line. Army Eldman turns for Detroit. Pass to Bruce McGregor again. Pass it in front. Bond cleared it off for Keon, who just shot it down the ice. Going to the red line. It's gone over. It's touched by Marcel Pronovo. Icing is the call, and there's a minute and 8 seconds remaining in the second period. 3-2 for Detroit. Change the last assist for Detroit to Marcel Pronovo and Andre Pronovo instead of McGregor. That third goal for Detroit, scored by Alex Faulkner at 13:39. Kelly with Stewart and Mahamlich. Stanley and Horton. Alex Del Vecchio. Larry Jeffrey, number 14. Gordie Howe. Bill Gadsby. Pete Goigan. Goes back to Stanley, number 26. He's behind the net. Over to Tim Horton. Less than a minute to go in this second period as Detroit cleared in. Bauer stopping it for Horton. Horton trying to bring it out. Cleared it off the boards. It's knocked back in again. Horton gets it out. Stops. Pass for Stewart. Goes over the line. Larry Jeffrey is chased back. Comes up with it. Trying to bring it out. At his own blue line to center. A pass for Del Vecchio. Goes into the lead zone. Horton. Then jammed by Jeffrey and Stewart. Pass for Kelly. Kelly up with Mahamlich. Mahamlich took the pass, but was stopped by Gadsby. Back for Larry Jeffrey. His long shot, and Bauer stirred it off to the side. Now then Mahamlich down the left wing. Over the Detroit line. Tried to pass it in front. Bill Gadsby had him covered. It came right in front of the net. Pete Goigan gets it. There goes the buzzer. The second period is over. It was 1-1 into the first. Then Detroit went ahead 2-1 at 8:13. Alex Faulkner scored from McGregor and Marcel Pronovo. Then Horton from Mahamlich at 13:06. Then Alex Faulkner again from Marcel Pronovo and Andre Pronovo at 13:39. So at the end of the second period, the score is Detroit Red Wings 3 and the Toronto Maple Leafs 2. This is the third game of the Stanley Cup Finals, which the Leafs lead 2-0, and this game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
What's the matter? You sick? Sick? No! I'm tired. Working too hard? No! Shopping too hard. Driving all over the place. Makes you tired. Why do you do that? Why? Well, what do you mean, why? Because I need to buy things like car wax and fan belts and flashlights and handy oil? Yeah, and gas and oil and camp stove fuel and like that. And that's why I've been shopping. That's why I'm tired. Well, when I need car wax and flashlight batteries and handy oil and gas and camp stove fuel and like that, you know what I do? No. What do you do? I drive to my Esso dealer. Yeah, for gas and oil. No, for all those things. No. Esso has more for the motoring shopper. Yeah? Plus dependable service. Esso dealers are right with the times. In fact, I'm on my way to my Esso dealer right now. Won't you join me? Sure.
Ward Canal, along with two coaches, Milt Schmidt, Red Sullivan, and Dick Bettis, columnist with the Globe and Mail, and we hope to have another sort of spirited little discussion like we had the other night with the newspaper man. Let's start things off with, first of all, your comments on that period.
Well, Ward, the second period was very, very much like the first period. I thought that the Red Wings definitely dominated play, and to my way of thinking, they're throwing their weight around a lot more than I have seen them play either in the Chicago series and this series, and I think right at the present time that has been the big difference in the ball game.
And Red? Well, I thought Detroit definitely had the better scoring chances, Ward, although when Detroit was penalized there, Mahavlich missed a couple of good opportunities, but I'll have to go along with Milt. They definitely have outplayed Toronto so far in the game.
Well, I think we're all agreed that the first two periods here tonight were much better than the six we saw in the Toronto end of the series. Milt, I was interested, we were talking before the broadcast, the telecast, that there's been some changes in the Detroit lineup, notably with Howard Young. Would this be good coaching psychology on the part of Sid Abel?
Well, naturally, I can't voice any opinion as far as the changes that Sid has made, but if Sid made a definite change as far as Mr. Young is concerned, why, definitely it was for the better of the club. And I'm sure that there's no sense in fooling around at this stage of the game. Why, if somebody goes off the deep end one way or another, and if he feels that he definitely isn't helping the club, well, then they find themselves in the end of the bench, and that's, of course, just where Howard is finding himself at the present time.
Well, there was no question, of course, that Young was crossing them with penalties, as he did certainly in the Chicago series and in the second game in Toronto. He gave away one goal at least. As a coach, would you have maybe benched Mr. Young at this juncture of the series?
Yes, I think I would have, Dick. When he didn't play too much against Chicago, it certainly didn't hurt Detroit's chances. I mean, they come back and won 4 straight after playing Young sparingly. However, I did think that Young gave a goal away over in Toronto, and also it could with one mistake he made there, I forget just who it was picked up the puck, but Starchuk had made a fine save on it.
Ward, I think we might... Go ahead, no, I'm sorry.
I think at the present time, definitely they haven't missed Howie out there, although he has great ability. But I don't think that they're going to find out until they really miss him, unless they get to receive an injury on the defense. And then if they do, naturally they got to play, I don't know who they brought up. Marcotte, and then they're going to find out whether they're really going to miss Howie or not. And I think until that happens, we just have to go along with Sid's thinking.
I'd like to follow up just one more question on the Young thing, Ward. We all know that Howie set the all-time penalty record. There's a great controversy about him. You two gentlemen were the also-rans in the league this year at Boston and New York. If Young was available for the waiver price or to trade, would you go for him? Red Sullivan.
Well, I'd certainly like to talk it over with my general manager, Mudge Patrick. We all know that Young is very colorful, but colorfulness doesn't actually win hockey games for us, gentlemen.
Milt, what about you?
Well, of course, we're at the stage right now where we can't be too fussy, but and that's got nothing to do with Howie's play, because he has a lot of ability. But in order to get a player like Howie, and with all the ability that he possesses, who knows, perhaps if somebody does get a hold of him, why, they can probably put him on the straight and narrow. And also that in order to get Howie, I'm afraid that you'd have to speak it over with, if you did get him, you'd have to have a long talk with the rest of your players, because if Howie would, say, stay out, break curfew or something like that, and then your other players would do it likewise, and you find the other players are not Howie, that's when you're going to run into
Well,
problems.
Milt, as you know, there's a socialistic setup here in Detroit. I think Sid Abel has really got 5 of his veterans who are kind of helping run the club, at least in the instance where legislation is required on Howie Young.
There's no doubt about it. They've done a wonderful job with him, and I think still that Howie's going to come around. I honestly do, because I know he's sitting upstairs and watching tonight's game, and I know that he's just eating his heart out wanting to get back in there, and I think that he will be.
Well, Milt, you mentioned that you'd like to talk it over with your players. Would you institute a similar kind of setup in Boston that they have here in Detroit?
Well, I think so, under the circumstances. I feel this way. Naturally, I don't want anybody to go off the deep end, but if I thought that the player could definitely help us at this stage, well, I would take a chance on him.
Red, would you talk it over with the team? You going to have that kind of a player, coach, assistant coach arrangement?
No, I don't think it works out to a good advantage, although, mind you, we can't knock Sid Abel. He's done a great job with his setup, but those 4 or 5 fellows you mentioned, but myself, I'm not in favor of that.
I'm going to say this again, Ward, that when I say I talk it over the players, I just want to let them know if they break through curfew, they're going to get fined. That's all it's true. But I would have the last say, and of course, along with the general manager.
Or the rump parliament that runs the Leafs, King Clancy and Front Jimlack, they have both said that if Young's available, they'd make a shot at it. This is their approach to it, and they're a loaded club.
Every hockey player that's available, Toronto's taken a grab at.
And Red, most of them, or many of them, have been quite successful in Front Jimlack's administration, wouldn't you say?
Very much so. I don't know. He's got something on the ball at Imlac. He seems to pick him off the trees and right away. Well, the other night over in Toronto was a good example when he put Litzenberger out there to replace Mihailovic, and what Litz come up to start the game. He got a goal and 2 assists.
And the game preceding that, Dick Duff gets 2 quick ones, and Nevin has a big one. He has lots of depth.
I think you can go back to last year. Look at the job he done with Billy Harris. I think Billy Harris scored 15 goals for him last year, and he only played sparingly. I think he's done a great job.
Here's Harris, a 4th-string center with the Leafs. Where would he be with either one of your clubs, no?
He'd be right in that first line, probably, and I'd love to have him, too. But under the circumstances, when you aren't too deep in strength, why, when you do want to make a trade, why, of course, they'd give an apple for an orchard any day, and we're not in a position to give them an orchard.
Using some psychology as coaches, did the thought ever come into your mind in terms of tonight's game, if you were handling Detroit, that you might start Basson in goal? Not that Sarchuk has not played well, but just to give the team a lift, maybe?
Well, it's funny you asked that question, Ward, because we're talking about that up in the press box, and I saw a couple of games with Detroit and Chicago series, and as you mentioned, Sarchuk hasn't played badly, but I don't think he's played up to par. And to answer your question, I think maybe I would have made a change in goal. You know?
Well, of course, everybody has different thinking, but as far as I'm concerned, I'd still go along with Carey for the simple reason that he's got all the experience in the world, plus the fact that he is a real good money hockey player. And maybe he hasn't been up to par up to the present time, but naturally we have to think of the injuries that he's had this year. And all in all, I think I would go along with him because he's a real good money hockey player.
Well, now, actually, you had to make what I guess, in part, was a psychological decision in terms of making a decision between your 2 goalers this year.
That is very true, and I went along with the younger goaltender of the 2, thinking, of course, that for the future of the Boston Bruins, that Johnston definitely would be the better of the 2.
Nick, we've got time for one quick last question. Fire away.
I was just wondering, the great story, of course, has been Bernard's Geoffrey-On's future. Both these clubs have been suggested. Milt, what about Geoffrey-On with the Boston Bruins?
I'm going to be just like the general manager. Somebody asked him whether he would like Geoffrey-On on the Boston Bruins, and Munn says definitely yes, and if we ever got him, we'd make him captain immediately.
That's all. Well, I'm not GM, but I know we're definitely interested. Fine. Thank you, gentlemen, and now it's up top to Frank Selke Jr.
Thank you very much, Ward. Frank Selke upstairs once again. We've switched locations slightly, and on my left, in rather cramped quarters, Pierre Paletta and Bobby Hall. Now, fellas, we've been watching kind of an unusual hockey game, in my opinion at least. The Red Wings have worked very, very hard to get 3 goals. The Leafs haven't had to work too hard to get the 2 that they have. What do you think is going to come up in this next 20 minutes? Pierre, you're closest. You start off.
Well, like you said, you didn't think Toronto was working too hard. Bobby and I, we mentioned that for a while there, it seemed like the 2 teams were just kind of cautious, you know. Then all of a sudden Detroit scored, and the tempo kind of picked up, and Detroit, I thought, outskated them for a while, and I would say I would go with Detroit in the 3rd period, but you know Toronto's a well-conditioned club, and they're only down 1 goal, and with punch back there, you never know what might happen.
Up here, I think, too, against Detroit against us in this 3rd period, that I think they outskated us and outplayed us also, and you never can tell.
Sid is quite an able coach, too, and he's liable to have his boys hopping out. They have that one-goal lead, and they're liable to come out and press Toronto the way they have been and work hard and get another goal right away. And Toronto's in trouble.
That could happen. Detroit's a good skating club, and I think, like ourselves, you know, when if we would have went against Toronto, we're kind of I don't think we're a fast club, Bobby. And if we would have played a tight checking club like Toronto, I don't think we would have done as well, I think, as Detroit is doing. Do you think? I mean, Detroit is skating, especially at this time. I think they're skating well.
That's true, Pierre. I think Detroit have some young legs out there, not that we don't, but they seem to hustle and play a different style of game than we do, and as you know, we've always had trouble against Toronto, and Detroit seem to, well, they'd rather play Toronto than anyone else, and they have good luck against it.
Pierre and Bobby, you have played against these two clubs, and one thing that surprises me a little bit about these Red Wings, they were really down in Toronto. They've come home here, and they've just burst and come alive. Now, there's more than home ice and the fans. There's something else that's involved in there, too. Can you put your finger on it?
We thought that, too, and we had them 2-0 in Chicago, but they came back. I think that Sid does a tremendous job. It's got to be in the coach to get the fellas up, so after we trounced them pretty good in Chicago, both games. We outskated them and outplayed them all the way through, and we thought that they might win one game here in Detroit. We'd win one and go back in Chicago and wrap it up. But as it was, we met an altogether different team here in Detroit, and I think that the players themselves have to get up for the game, but it helps a lot to have someone giving you a pat in the back and helping out.
That's true. I was talking to an outside friend of the Detroit club, and they were mentioning the fact that they thought they were going to take us after we beat them for the first game. They said, we can still do it. After the second game, they said, well, I think, geez, they got a pretty good club. They came back here and bounced right back. I think it was a case of us being more confident, slowing down 5 miles, and then picking up 5, and that's a big difference, I'll tell you. And that's what happens when a team scores a goal. One team that scored upon will let down a bit, slow down. We'll say just a couple miles, and the other team will pick up a couple, and there you go. You got about 10 miles, 5 or 6 miles difference. That's why you can see the other club out skating the other.
I'm going to give each one of you 5 seconds to predict who's going to win the hockey game. Pierre, you're first.
Well, I'm not a homer, but I'll have to go with Detroit. All right, Bobby?
Yes, Frank, I think Detroit now, with that one-goal lead, and the way they played in the third period in the previous game, I'll call Detroit.
All right, Danny. Thanks very much to Bobby and Pierre, to our other guests, Milt Schmidt, Dick Beddoes, and Red Sullivan. In just a moment, we'll be back with Bill Hewitt and the third period play-by-play of this game.
You're sure to find better cars on better roads, more places to be. You're sure to find a great new sense of confidence. Drive anywhere, never a care, because your Imperial Esso dealer is right with the times. Your Imperial Esso dealer is right with the times.
The teams are coming back on the ice now for the third period. The Red Wings are leading by a score of 3-2. The Leafs outshot Detroit 10-8 in the second period. The shots were even in the first period, 10 apiece. But the difference in this game so far has been Alex Faulkner, the real opportunist. and each come up with 2 terrific goals for the Detroit Red Wings. And that's been the margin so far, 3-2. And this is the 3rd time in the game the Red Wings have had the lead. So now we get set for the 3rd period of this 3rd game of the Stanley Cup final. And the ice hasn't frozen at the area to our right, where the scraper goes out. Well, the ice has been very fast here at the Olympia tonight. Referee Frank Cadbury is waiting for them to scrape it a little bit. You see a nice shine on the ice at center. Now they have it all fixed up at the other end. And we're all set to start this 3rd period now. And for the Red Wings, that's Normie Ullman, Vic Stasiak, Floyd Smith, Keon, Duff, and Armstrong. Goes back into the lead zone. Horton back for it. Horton to Armstrong, back to Horton. Over the line, his shot was deflected by Stasiak, and it rebounds all the way back to center. Shot in, and it a face-off back in the lead zone, and Stanley cleared it back into the Detroit zone, tapping his teammates. Keon, foot pass off the boards for Dick Duff. Back for Keon. Doug Barkley poke checked him. Horton to Stanley. Stanley to Duff. He shoots it into the Detroit zone. Stasiak stopping it. Marcel Pronovo after it. Straight off the boards. Floyd Smith, number 17, turns. Passes it in front to Dick Barkley. And he gets it out to the blue line to Normie Ullman. Up at center. Long shot. Bauer had it dribbled by his glove and nearly went in the net. Horton. Pass to Keon. Keon getting up the center with Armstrong and Duff over the line. Duff took a shot. Keon was rammed into the boards. Floyd Smith clearing pass to Vic Stasiak, and he just shoots it out to center ice. Stanley waiting for his teammates to get onside. He shoots it over the line into the Detroit zone. Marcel Pronovo back for it. Lost it to Armstrong. Armstrong tried to pass it in front of Normie Ullman. Plays it to the blue line out to center ice. Stasiak in possession. Clearing pass to Doug Barkley. Long shot that was caught by Johnny Bauer and left for George Armstrong right in front of his own net. Stasiak took it away, took a shot. And it's knocked into the corner. Stanley trying to clear it out. Shot it behind the lead goal to Horton. Horton just flicks it at the blue line where it hit linesman George Hayes. Normie Ullman gets over the line. Pass for Packer McDonald, a shot, and Bauer stopped that. Knocked down by Ullman. Now in the Hamlet will get high tricking penalty. Stanley patching to Ullman. Hamlet is going to the penalty box. Stanley still after Ullman about running into Bauer. 2:07, Mac. Of the third period. Detroit 3, Toronto Maple Leafs 2. Del Vecchio, Larry Jeffrey, Pete Goigan, and Bill Gadsby facing Stewart, Kelly, Brewer, and Braun. Goigan's shot, Bauer stopped that. Brewer clears it to Stewart, and Stewart goes up with Kelly to center. Kelly cut over to the left wing. Braun pass back to Stewart. Stewart goes into the corner. Kelly standing in front of the net. Stewart tried to center it. Kelly was taken out to the corner. Kelly trying to get it out. Jammed in on the board. Stewart gets the puck loose. Play is called. And there'll be penalties there. Kelly and Goigan. While referee Frank Adveri was climbing up on the glass, he got all tangled up in there, but not tangled enough. He saw enough to give penalties to Goigan and Kelly. Roughing. 2 minutes and 37 seconds. So now the teams will play 4 aside. Dave Keon coming out to replace Stewart. Val Fontaine, number 19 for Detroit. Marcel Pronovo. Now then Ullman comes out. Ullman, Marcel Pronovo, and Bill Gadsby. Comes back to Douglas, over to Brewer. Pass for Keon, here's Skeet. Passes it back to Brewer. Brewer has to go back out to center ice. Pass for Douglas. Marcel Pronovo. Pass to Ullman, over the Leaf line. Ullman took his shot and Bauer stopped that. Did the splits and held on to it. Face-off in the Maple Leaf zone. Ullman, Gadsby, and Marcel Pronovo. Douglas ahead to Keon. Keon over the line. Stop. Pass it back for Brewer. Brewer. Checked by Ullman. Ullman tries to get away. Douglas slapping it over to the board. Marcel Pronovo comes up for Detroit. Over the Leaf line. He's bumped. And Keon has it. Keon up to center. Over the line. Takes his shot. Back-check stopped that. Goes into the corner, and Ullman has it. He's checked. Douglas over to Brewer, back to Douglas. Ahead for Keon, too far. Marcel Pronovo, checked by Douglas, who gives it to Keon, and Keon couldn't get a shot. Bill Gadsby to Ernie Ullman. Ullman goes up at center. Ran into Douglas, and Brewer goes down with Harris. They're over the line. Brewer lets one go, and it's way wide. Brewer takes a shot that rolls in front. Marcel Pronovo checked by Harris. Harris back to Hoyt. Hoyton gets set. There's a shot, and that's wide. Stanley moves up, and it's outside. Face-off will be outside the Detroit blue line. We played 4 minutes and 15 seconds of the third period. Detroit 3, Toronto 2. Harris, Mahavlich, Martin, and Stanley. Howe with Del Vecchio, Brackley, and Marcel Pronovo. On the face-off, Mahavlich takes a long shot that's wide. Doug Brackley A pass for Alex Del Vecchio. Drop pass for Gordie Howe. Gets away from Harris. Quick pass over the line outside. Del Vecchio. Detroit 3, Toronto 2. After 4 minutes and 33 seconds of the third period. Duff and Armstrong with Whiten and Stanley. Goes back to Whiten from Duff. Whiten. Up with Armstrong over the line. Whiten goes in with a shot, and that's deflected by Marcel Pronovo as Whiten let it go. Face-off will be in the Detroit zone to the left. Howe out there now with Gadsby and Goigan. Del Vecchio stays out there. Kings are back at full strength, so Kelly comes out at center ice now with Duff and Armstrong. And Elman goes out for Detroit. Elman with Stasiak and Floyd Smith. Early to go for the face-off. Puck is dropped. Kelly back to Armstrong. He took a shot and Gadsby knocked it down with a skate. Bill Gadsby brings the puck up to center. Pass for Stasiak goes into the lead zone and Armstrong's back for it. Armstrong getting away on the left wing with a pass to Kelly at center. Over the line, a pass for Armstrong knocked down by Goigan. Pete Goigan in front of his own net. Shot it out to Elman. Elman with one man back. Over the line. A pass. Smith took a shot. And Elman failed to get the rebound. Here's Elman out in front of the net. Fowler stops that. Elman again centering it in front. Comes back to Gadsby. It hits off a shot. That's just down wide. Reagan keeps the puck in and it goes into the corner and Stanley has it. Stopped by Smith. Floyd Smith getting in front of the defense. Turns, takes his shot, and that went over the glass. And the Red Wings are playing the Leafs at this point. This game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
For marine products, make SO your first port of call.
Face-off. The puck goes right over the blue line to center ice. Topher to Nevin. Over the line. Topher went after it. It's tipped in by Shack. Shack right in front of Topher. Oh, and he shot it over top of the net. The puck is still in the Detroit zone. Bruce McGregor passes it to Nevin. Right back in behind the Detroit goal. Doug Barkley. A pass on the wing. Came out in front of the net. And it's cleared out for Alex Faulkner. Up he goes to center. Over the line. Covered by Bourne. The puck goes to the corner. Faulkner back to Marcel Pronovo. And Bob Nevin goes after it. Pass for Shack on the left wing. Bruce McGregor checks him. Brewer ran into Alex Faulkner. It comes back to Doug Barkley. Here's his shot. That's knocked down by the Leafs defense. Shack couldn't control it. Doug Barkley, a pass to Faulkner to McGregor. He's knocked down. Eddie Shack. Coming up to center ice. Pass to Nevin, over the line. Closing in with Shack. A shot right in front. And the rebound goes to Andre Pronovo. Up the ice. Stopped by Stanley. Stanley with Nevin. A long shot. Kotchuk stopped it. Cleared it in behind the goal, and Eddie Joyelle, number 21. At his own blue line. Up the center. Over the line. Takes his shot wide. Andre Pronovo from the wing. His shot. Bauer stopped that. Stanley. Pass for Keon. Keon and Armstrong. And Keon knocked down from behind. Gordie Howe ran into Horton. Eddie Shack. Carrying it out to center and down the ice. Kotchuk stopping it. Doug Brackley back for it. Big pass for Gordie Howe, stopped by Armstrong. Armstrong of the Leafs trying to keep it in. Finally knocked out over the blue line. Michael McDonald hits over the Leaf line, took a shot and hit Horton. Michael McDonald over to Bill Gadsby. Stopped by Stanley. Stanley up for Keon. Keon over the Detroit line. Back for Duff. Michael McDonald hit Keon. Armstrong turns. He gets over the line. Armstrong closing in, and he was checked by Gordie Howe. And Gadsby fell. Long pass to center ice, hit Horton's stick. Horton goes back for it. We've passed the 8:33 mark of the third period. Detroit leading 3-2. Here's Keon at center. Reagan covered him. Keon turns again. A pass intended for Duff, blocked by Joyelle, and Horton has it. Horton goes to center. Gets it over the Detroit line. Trying to cut in, pass it in front of the net. Bill Gadsby shoots it off the board, and it's Douglas back at center. His pass for Duff goes to the opposite wing. Floyd Smith, watched by Kelly, gets away from him, over for Stasiak. Bob Bond wrapping it off the boards, but now, and Floyd Smith shoots it right back in again. Bob Bond to Frank Mahavlich. Mahavlich down the left wing, a pass for Kelly. He's knocked down by Floyd Smith. Puck is in the Detroit zone. It's cleared out on the right wing, and it goes down the ice. It'll be touched and called for icing. Face off back in the Detroit zone to the left. Approaching the 10-minute mark of the third period in 18 seconds. Detroit 3, Toronto 2. Kelly, Sturek, Mahamlich, Brown, and Brewer. Del Vecchio, Larry Jeffrey, Gordie Howe, Marcel Pronovo, Doug Barkley. All set to go for the face-off in the Detroit zone to the left. The puck wasn't dropped fairly that time. On the face-off, Larry Jeffrey clearing pass for Gordie Howe, went off his stick to center. Carl Brewer just flipped it on the wing. Doug Barkley over to Larry Jeffrey, number 14. Jeffrey, a pass for Howe, deflected it into the lead zone, and it's Bob Bond. Watched by Del Vecchio. Tries to get it out. Gordie Howe checked him. Carl Brewer hits away from Jeffrey. And Del Vecchio streaking down this right wing. Up over the Detroit line. Closing in. Took his shot. Kotchuk stopped that. Marcel Pronovo. A pass out for Del Vecchio too far. Bob Bond for Kelly. And it's deflected over the glass into the crowd. This game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
The right way to run your lawnmower or outboard motor is with Esso Outboard Oil.
Nine minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third period. Reagan over to Gadsby. Gadsby fell, but he gets it out to center right. Bruce McGregor. Checked. Bob Nevin. Lost it to Faulkner. Faulkner falls on the puck, and there's no further play. Face off outside the blue line. Horton gives linesman George Hayes some tape that came off his stick. Kent Douglas Off the board, stopped by Bruce McGregor and Alex Faulkner. Alex Faulkner takes his shot. Bauer stopped that. Now it's Litzenberger down the ice with Kent Douglas. He kicked it over the line. Nevin fell. Douglas goes after it. Gadsby fell. Hopefully tried to center it up in front. Gadsby slashed by Douglas. Down the ice for McGregor over the line. Takes his shot, and Bauer deflected it off to the side. Play is called. There'll be a penalty to Douglas for slashing. Douglas of the Leafs will get a penalty. We're at the 11:17 mark of the third period. Detroit 3, Toronto Maple Leafs 2. Faceoff will be in the Leaf zone. Keon kicked the puck, lifts it over to Armstrong. It goes off the glass, and Valfontaine back for it to Gordie Howe. To Valfontaine, it hops a little bit, gets control of it again, and gives it to Stasiak. Floyd Smith comes over the line with a pass for Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe knocks it for Floyd Smith again. Brewer lost it to Howe. Howe was checked. Elman tried to let his shot go, and Brewer. A foot pass for Keon. Keon is draped into the boards by Valfontaine. Goes into the corner. Stasiak with Howe. He passed it behind him. Elman gets over the line. Goes into the corner. Gordie Howe trying to center it, and Armstrong picks it up. A long pass for Keon, too far. Bill Gadsby back for it, number 4. Long pass to Stasiak. Stasiak over for Floyd Smith. Hopefully tried to get it loose. Offside at the Leaf blue line. We're at the 12:30 mark of the third period. Detroit 3, Leafs 2. Joriel with Bruce McGregor and Andre Pronovo. Pete Goigan and Bill Gadsby on the defense. Fulford, Nevin, Stanley, and Horton. Andre Pronovo back to Bill Gadsby. His pass goes into the Leaf zone. It's going to the red line and over. And Horton will touch it, and Detroit will be called for icing the puck. Face-off will be in the Detroit zone to the right. Fulford, Nevin, Horton, and Stanley moving up. They're playing a man short. Douglas in the penalty box. Nevin poked at it. Fulford fell. Fulford tried to get his shot. Nevin, watched by Bruce McGregor, who passed it back for Bill Gadsby. Gadsby to Andre Pronovo. Andre Pronovo jammed in on the boards by Nevin and knocked down. Stanley lifts it to the blue line, but not up. Pete Goigan's shot, and Bauer stopped it. Stanley turned it around on the boards. Fulford ran into Bruce McGregor. Andre Pronovo passed it back to Bruce McGregor. He sent it across in front. Pete Goigan's shot was a weak one and wide. Bruce McGregor shot it down the ice. Kent Douglas is back on the ice. The Leafs are back at full strength. And Mohammed comes over the boards. Andre Pronovo. Pass to Bruce McGregor. Over on the right wing. He gets over the line. Fulford ran into him. And it's Horton. Behind the Leaf goal. A pass for Kelly. Stopped by Floyd Smith. Offside at the blue line. 6 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in regulation time. Detroit 3, Toronto 2. Del Vecchio, Packer McDonald, Gordie Howe, Doug Barkley, Marcel Tonavo, Kelly, Duff, and Mahavlich. Douglas back for it. Pass over to Brewer. Brewer racing up to center ice with Duff. Third pass over the line. Alex Del Vecchio was checked. Duff missed a check from Marcel Tonavo. Packer McDonald clear right in front of the net. Mahavlich took a shot. Then Kelly goes after the drive, and Sackbeck stopped that. Gordie Howe shot it down the ice, going over the red line. It's touched, and icing will be the call. Face-off back in the Detroit zone. 5 minutes and 45 seconds left in regulation time. 3-2 for the Red Wings. Kelly with Shack and Mahavlich, Douglas and Brewer. It hit Mahavlich. Howe then bumped into Mahavlich. The puck is played by Del Vecchio to Packer McDonald. Back to Del Vecchio. Takes a long shot. Bauer let it go. And Douglas is back for it. Douglas to Brewer. Brewer coming up to his own blue line of center. Going over the Detroit line. Going right through. Trying to pass it. Sackbeck knocked it out to the side. Gordie Howe after it. A long pass for Packer McDonald. Coming up to the Leaf line. His shot goes high up into the crowd. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in regulation time. Detroit 3. Toronto 2. Del Vecchio, Gordie Howe, and now Larry Jeffrey on the left wing. And now out come Gadsby and Gregan. Harris has taken over at center ice now. Mahavlich on the left wing, Shack on the right. Kelly's down back under the fence, along with Douglas. Douglas to Kelly. Kelly up to center. A pass for Mahavlich, too far. Gordie Howe goes after it. Gets away from Mahavlich. Harris goes after Gordie Howe, and Howe still has it. Shack bumps into Gordie Howe as Larry Jeffrey brings it up to center and lost it at the Leaf blue line. A pass for Shack. Gordie Howe just shoots it out. Kelly and Mahavlich trying to go in together. Gordie Howe broke it up. Howe just missed a check from Shack. Here's Kelly, a pass from Mahavlich. He was in the clear, but it was outside at the blue line. Outside at the Detroit blue line. This game is coming to you direct from the Detroit Olympia.
Imperial Oil Research. More value, more quality for you, the motoring shopper.
4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in regulation time. Detroit 3, the Leafs 2. Duff was jammed in on the boards, and they hold it there with Gadsby and Keon at the Detroit bench. A real cliffhanger here at the Olympia in Detroit. Armstrong for Keon, just a bit too far, and Pete Gregan neatly covers up and passes to Normie Ullman. Ullman gets it over the line of Stasiuk offside. Face-off on the Leaf side of center ice. Puck is shot into the Leaf zone. Martin back for it. Whiten bringing it out on the right wing. Up to Fetter. Over the Detroit line. Back to Keon. Keon takes his shot. And it's knocked down by the Detroit defense, and Stasiuk cleared it, but not out. Here's Duff getting set, and his shot was wide. It's cleared to the blue line and knocked by Stasiuk into the Detroit bench. Face off inside the blue line. Keon, Armstrong, Duff, Stanley, and Horton. Puck comes out over the line. Stanley tipped it back. Duff is then dumped by Bill Gadsby. Cleared out over the blue line. A long pass for Floyd Smith, who's racing after it. Bauer came out of his net. Duff failed to get it out. Stanley does. Gadsby moves up. Duff says something to Gadsby. Litzenberger's checked by Howe. Stanley carries on. Over the Detroit line with a pass for Keon. Stanley and Litzenberger knocked down. Keon goes after it. Jammed by Stasiuk. Puck goes loose. It's Nevin. Back to Douglas. His shot was knocked down by Detroit. And Gregan brings it up. He ran into Nevin. Douglas a clearing pass right to Gordie Howe. His shot right in front of the net. Litzenberger gets it out. Packer McDonald brought it back in again, and Douglas has it. Away goes Douglas. Over the Detroit line. Tried to pass it through, and it's cleared down the ice by Detroit. And Brewer's back for it with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in regulation time. Brewer up the center. A pass for Popek to Litzenberger. Back to Popek. Comfort is jammed into the boards. They all jam there, and play is called for a face-off in the Detroit zone to the right. Johnny Bauer still in the net. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in regulation time. Detroit 3, Toronto 2. On the face-off, Popek took a whack at it. It's knocked out over the blue line. Douglas passing it back to Brewer. Brewer head to Popek. Popek for Litzenberger. Marcel Pronovo cleared it, but not out. Popek getting a shot. Pass that stops it. It's right in front of the net, and he holds on to it. Out of his goal crease. One minute and 49 seconds remaining in regulation time. Detroit 3, Maple Leafs 2. Face off in the Detroit zone to the right. Johnny Bauer stays in the net. We have another omelet on the ice. Cold variety. I've scraped it up with the skate. And they also have something else, a piece of metal from another spot they brought over. Johnny Bauer is out of his net, but he's not all the way. Litzenberger gets the draw. Detroit with Floyd Smith, unable to get it out. Brewer took his shot. That's wide. It ends up behind the goal. Litzenberger goes after it. Marcel Pronovo beat him to it. Picks Stasiuk. A clearing pass to Ullman. He's skated off and knocked down, and Popek goes back for it. Popek right in front of his own net. Popek racing up to center ice. A pass for Litzenberger. Floyd Smith skated ahead of him, and Marcel Pronovo comes up with it. He's checked. It's finally cleared out. Brewer moves up. Over the line, Carl Brewer shoots it into the corner. Bill Gadsby clears it around on the boards. Kent Douglas, the pass for Lissenberger was too far. Bill Gadsby to Floyd Smith. Up for Ullman, less than a minute to go. As Ullman gets the puck into Leaf territory, he's knocked down. Play is called, but it's a face-off back at the inside the Detroit blue line on an offside. Well now, 50 seconds remaining in regulation time in Detroit. Red Wings 3, Toronto Maple Leafs 2. There goes Bauer over to the Leaf bench for instruction from Punch Imlach. It's Keon, Mahavlich, Stewart, Horton, and Kelly. Bauer wants to make sure he's going to the right place. He doesn't know whether he has to go back in the net or back to the blue line or where. So Punch Imlach makes sure he's back of the blue line. Hitting in front of the net. Keon shot it into the corner. It's cleared into the crowd by Gadsby just as Armstrong skates on the ice. And now then, the face-off is in the Detroit zone to the right. And Bauer has left the ice, and the net is empty. The net is empty. So we have 6 attackers. Keon, Mahavlich, Stewart, Horton, Armstrong, and Kelly. 47 seconds remaining in regulation time. Armstrong getting some instructions at the Leaf bench. Now we're all set to go. For Detroit, Gordie Howe, Alex Delvecchio, Marcel Protobol, Normie Ellman, Bill Gadsby, Harry Sawchuk. Leafs have 6 attackers. Kelly will face off against Gordie Howe. The puck is dropped. It goes to the corner. Mahavlich tries to center it. It's right in front of the net. Here's Mahavlich passing it back to Armstrong. A shot right in front of the goal. Right to Horton. He shoots it. Oh, stopped by Sawchuk. They all pile around the net. Play is called. .36 seconds left in regulation time. What a finish this is. Sawchuk received some rough treatment from not only his own players, but the Leafs as well in that pileup. Oh, we have a face-off, but in the opposite circle. .35 seconds remaining in regulation time. Red Wings 3, Leafs 2. All set for the face-off. In the Detroit zone to the left. Up Terry Sawchuk. Gadsby gets the draw. Ullman cleared it off the boards, but not out. Stewart fights for it. Alex Delvecchio cleared it out and down the ice. Kelly races after it. Kelly ahead for Keon. It deflects it into the Detroit zone. Bill Gadsby goes after it. He's in behind the net. Got it off the boards. Armstrong took a shot. Sawchuk stopped that. Marcel Prolovo's shot cleared out the center ice. 10 seconds as Kelly turns. Failed to get it over the line. It goes into the crowd and play is called. 7 seconds. Seven seconds left. All set to go for the face-off. It's cleared into the Detroit zone. Bill Gadsby failed to get it out. Here's Kelly. kicking at it. Alex Delvecchio goes behind the net. The buzzer goes. The game is over. And Detroit has defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2. And it was Alex Faulkner who was the key for the Detroit attack with 2 big goals. And once again, he comes through with the winning goal. Stasiak and 2 by Alex Faulkner, 1 by Keon and 1 by Horton were the scoring plays. And so the final score in tonight's game here at the Detroit Olympia, Detroit Red Wings 3, Toronto Maple Leafs 2.
Esso gasoline flows into a car, and money flows into the Canadian economy. To run its business, Imperial buys countless kinds of fresh supplies. They buy cabinets, chairs and tables, paper, pencils, pens, and cables. Welding torches, rubber stamps, window blinds, electric lamps, compasses, metal dies, ribbons, wrenches every size. Paper stocks for maps and books, thermostats, and cargo hooks, extinguishers and safety matches, safety masks, safety catches, trucks. When Imperial writes a shopping list, hardly anything is missed. And Imperial spends its money here. $69 million just last year.
Ward Canal down below with Bobby Hull and Pierre Pilato picked our 3 stars. And just before I ask for their selection, I'd like to thank the many of you from Newfoundland, the Sioux, the Far West for your telegrams. I'm sorry that we don't have an opportunity to acknowledge them all, but we appreciate receiving them. Well, now, boys, you each were on your own tonight picking the stars. Did you agree on the number 1 star?
Yes, Ward. I think that Alex played a real well of a game. Alex Faulkner, I'm sorry. And I think he played a real well of a game. For a little guy, he's got a lot of intestinal fortitude and just played so well and starts that line that does so much checking and skating for him.
All right, and now, Pierre, who are your 2nd and 3rd stars?
Well, I picked Marcel Pronov on defense. I thought he played a good game defensively, and he toward the end there when Toronto pulled the goaltender, he played real well, and I picked Gordy. He was his old reliable self.
And Bobby?
Well, I think that line of Smith, Ullman, and Jeffrey, or whoever else they put on that line, I think they played well. They played well against us. They played well tonight. They're a tremendous checking line, and they score goals for Detroit. And I think that whole line deserves a lot of credit. Ullman is the spark plug of that line. I think that he deserves a lot of credit. Plus the fact that Tim Horton pulls a lot of the load. He lugs that puck for Toronto all night long, and
he's your 3rd
he's
star.
my 3rd star.
Good. Well, now let's bring Alec in here with Frank Southey. Congratulations, Alec. Fire away, Frank.
Quarters to work in, Ward. I don't know how you do it. Alec, they'll be dancing in the town square in Bishop Falls. I imagine you're a very happy and proud boy tonight.
Yes, I am. I'm very proud to be able to play a game like this in such an important game, Frank.
Alex, I understand that there's going to be a big holiday for all the people of Bishop Falls when you get home. It's pretty rough.
But they're going to be pretty happy back there, I'm sure, Frank.
Howie Meeker was probably the 2nd happiest man in the rink tonight. I think you were the first because Howie was extolling your virtues, and you really came through for him.
Well, I'm glad I could tonight, Frank.
All right, how about this series now? It's a different series. What do you look for?
Well, I just hope that the team can play as well again on Tuesday night as they did tonight, and I'm sure we will. He's back. He's just where he left off, killing us, you know. He scored a couple winning goals against us, and I hope he keeps going. He deserves it.
He's the giant killer.
Alex, Howie Meeker has been telling me that
how great the countryside is down there, how great the fishing is. And he's asked me to come down several times. Is that the truth?
Yes, it would be really worthwhile, Bobby.
It'd be worth my while to come down and
trout
spend the
fishing
food.
and salmon fishing is real good down there.
They're starting to turn out some pretty good hockey players, too, Bobby. Yes, I should say that. Your fishing was pretty good tonight, Alex. Congratulations. That was good work. Thank you very much, Alex, Pierre, Bobby, and Ward.
The shots on goal. Toronto 32 and Detroit 31. The series standings, Toronto has won 2, lost 1. Detroit won 1 and lost 2. The final score in tonight's game, the Toronto Maple Leafs 2, the Detroit Red Wings 3.
We hope you have enjoyed this season of Hockey Night in Canada. If you have, then I'd like to recommend that you show your appreciation by doing business right here at the Esso Sign of Confidence. It represents Imperial Oil. It also represents the Esso dealers, agents, and distributors serving your community. This hockey show is their way of collectively thanking you for your patronage or inviting you to join the millions of Canadians who have come to count on their quality products and services. Throughout the year, they stand ready to provide more value for you that is right with the times. Until the next game of this final series between Toronto and Detroit, this is Murray Westgate, on behalf of Imperial Esso dealers, agents, and distributors, wishing you good night and happy motoring.
Tomorrow night, Edie Gourmet, Dorothy Loudon, and Alan and Rossi all make return visits to the Gary Moore Show. And now stay tuned for the Bob Hope Show with Bob's guests, Martha Ray and Dean Martin. The 1963 TV Guide Awards are also part of the Bob Hope Show next on CBC. This is the CBC Television Network.